All right, first step, we're going to put our keel together. For this particular board, we have a two-piece keel. There's one side with the inscriptions and one side without. We're always going to work with the inscriptions facing up for this step. And this puzzle joint is designed to just fit together really easily. Shouldn't take a whole lot of coercing, so we're just going to take that and slide it together. And there's our center keel. Okay, right here we're going to assemble the puzzle joints for the keel and the outer plywood rail bands. Basically going to just take our puzzle joints. These are all in two pieces. There's a nose and a tail section. And we're just going to take these puzzle joints, pop them together on a flat surface. And then we're going to take just a pad of wood. I use plywood. You could use cedar. And we're going to glue this over the puzzle joint to add some support. On the plywood rail bands, we're only going to do this on the inside of the rail bands because we want the outside to be nice and clean for attaching our cork rails later on. So I tend to put the rail bands with the inscriptions on the inside of the board. So I'm going to add these pads on the inside, on the inscription side of the rail bands. For this, we're going to use tight bond, mostly to hold this together, but because I'm doing this in a bit of a hurry, I'm going to use a few little dabs of hot glue to hold it in place while the tight bond dries. So I'm going to take my piece of wood, take some tight bond, and add it to the pad just kind of in the middle section so it doesn't mix with where I'm going to put the hot glue. And I'm going to take my hot glue, I'm going to add a couple little dabs on each end. These will act like little welds to kind of hold it while the tight bond dries. I'm going to put it right down, right over that puzzle joint, and kind of clamp it or hold it down for a few minutes. Okay, on my keel puzzle joint, I'm going to also glue pads. These pads can go on each side of the keel. The main thing I want to make sure is I want these pads to be shorter than the height of the frame. I don't want them to be taller than the frames because they'll eventually get in the way of the planking, which is going to butt into the sides of this keel. So I just want to make sure they're a little shorter than the inscription lines on the board that represent the planks. So you can glue these on just with tight bond if you have time for it to dry. Once again, I'm going to use a couple drops of hot glue to hold it in place for me while I let this glue dry.